MblSS Television brings you exclusive updates.
Good afternoon to you all. My name is Wanyenze Grace. I am from Mbale Secondary School. I am the editor of the Mbale Secondary School Triumph magazine. And today we are in Mrs. Wakholi, Auma Catherine's home. The reason we are here is because Mbale Secondary School is launching celebrations of a Diamond Jubilee. We have been in existence for 75 years, so we are belatedly celebrating this to congratulate ourselves and so many people around us that have supported us all this time, that have been with us, and to feel good about ourselves. It is not every day that institutions are in existence this long. Some of them have even collapsed, but we are still standing. Who are we? We have existed since 1949, and the Diamond Jubilee makes the count at 2024. We are belatedly celebrating. The school intends to launch several activities that are related to the celebrations, and one of them is launching a special magazine called MblSS at 75. Okay, and today we have a special visitor who is one of our former head teachers. She's the only female head teacher that has served at Mbale Secondary School. Something must be special about her. It is why she stands out among the very many. She's right here, Mrs. Wakholi, Auma Catherine. Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon to you.
I have heard so many things about you. My friends that I teach with, that I work with, say Mrs. Wakholi was our head teacher. They have so many stories. I who didn't study from there, sometimes I am jealous. I'm like, all these rumors, but she's still alive. We can talk to her. We can ask her ourselves. And the first question I want to ask, who is Mrs. Wakholi, Auma Catherine?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, madam.
And I want to welcome MblSS team here. Thank you for coming to have this interaction with me. Mrs. Wakholi Catherine is a female teacher, a person qualified way back in 1976 as a teacher and taught in different capacities up to 2013 when she retired after serving this government for 37 years.
Wow.
And I'm happy that you've come to interview me about MblSS, because when I was writing my CV for retirement, I actually discovered that I'd served MblSS for more years than any other institution.
That is
So
wonderful.
MblSS, I served MblSS for about between 12 and 15 years, if I can remember my CV well, and in different capacities as a classroom teacher and the head of department, and then as a head teacher for some years,
Okay.
at 6 years as a head teacher. And I'm proud of the school.
We are proud of you too, madam.
Yeah. Proud of MblSS because it groomed me. If you are in MblSS, I think driving beyond the stars is the right motto, because there is enough time for you to search and to research and to impart, because the school is the heart of Mbale, and of the day schools in Mbale, a person who goes to MblSS feels the pride, because MblSS has all that a child needs to learn, and the teachers are there. I was happy that at that time the population of teachers rose from 75 to 100 and 32 by the time I left. But I think now you are almost 200.
Yes, we are over 200.
And serving a big staff. I was happy, and I still remain happy to be in part of MblSS, and for this magazine you are drawing. I really thank God that I'm still alive, and you've been able to come to interact with me.
Yes.
I have been since retirement. It's now 11 years, and I wouldn't have thought that people would remember me, because I retired after I had served in another school for 5 years. So that is 15 years. That was 16 years. And I would have thought that I'm a forgotten member. But I'm happy that you've come to share with me and to write. I don't know whether that says enough, but who I am, to me, if I were to do interview, I would think you wanted to know my qualifications and so on.
Not necessarily. Anything you want to tell us about you can.
So I'm a teacher. And I pioneered the curriculum when this NRM government came to power. And that time I was upgrading, and political science was at the top of discussion.
I have another question for you. Why teaching? What motivated you to become a teacher? Even today, up to today, some people still look down on us teachers. They think the job we do underpays us. They think we work aimlessly, effortlessly. I cannot imagine that it was better back in the day. If it is like this now, how was it then? What is it that motivated you to become a teacher, despite all the appreciation that we don't get even to date?
Yeah, I think to become a teacher doesn't mean that you are thinking of money. You know, when you think of money, then the teaching is not good. It's not appreciated. But to become a teacher is to become a whole person. And that is what I love in the teaching, because you are groomed to become a whole person. And my family here, I'm a parent.
Yes.
And when I look at my family, I think I became a whole person. And that is what it is, because teaching is the beginning of life. You cannot say you will not teach. And then what about your children?
Somebody must teach them.
You must teach. And to me, I even pity those who think teaching is not good. Because the experience we went through during COVID-19 is enough to make these people of the world know that teaching is the noble. Because how many children are now suffering out there? The 2 years outside education had, in my place here, around my place, had bred reckless young people, which reckless young people would not have been there if they had had that continuous education. So from there, I still feel that teaching is a noble job. But when you put money, it doesn't. Yeah, because for me, I'm a spiral, because I did not. I'm one of those who nearly resigned from teaching. Yes. Earlier on, and we had to invite that time Mr. Amanya Mushega, who is now heading something in education.
Yes, he made the new report.
He came and visited the school.
Wow.
And I'm one of those who talked to him.
That's amazing.
Because they had made a porter and more than. I got a form and signed, because that time I had a diploma in education.
Okay.
And they made a porter earn more than me.
The porter was earning more than a teacher.
More than me. They gave them 50,000 per month, while a diploma holder was earning 47.
That's not fair.
Yeah, and yet earlier on, before this regime, I was earning 470,000, and then they removed the 2 zeros. I came to 47,000. Do you imagine that?
It is very
Yes, they are
annoying.
my friends, my colleagues who retired. Your friend, you are mentioning Mrs. Vicky. Those are the people who resigned. During that time, they filled in the forms for retirement, and they were even frustrated the more because government could not give them their pension until they clocked what? 60
years.
Yes.
Madam, you remained on despite the zeros going away.
Yes, but you see it also when you are in a family. I am here a married woman. I'm Mrs. Wakholi. Yeah. I got the forms and he got them and told them. I asked him why. He told me these are short-lived things. Supposing the regime goes.
It could change for the better, right?
For the better.
Yes.
But the regime has not gone, but things changed.
Yes, eventually they
And
change.
two, I was a teacher of political education at that time.
Yes.
Yes. And of course, I felt the pinch.
True.
Because you are teaching the good habits.
Of politics. Yeah.
The good habits of moral improvement in life. And then you are getting demoralized
yourself,
and yet you are a strong supporter.
You must promote what you are preaching.
Doing double, suffering double. A strong supporter who has even gone to Rakitura. I was a politician.
Yes.
Yes, at the sub-county here, I held LC3 position, and I was a vice, I was a treasurer, I was everything at that time when I was active. And indeed, when he tore, I cooled down, of course. As a family, I cooled down and continued to teach.
Yes.
And then I got the inspiration to head. And the reason was that at that time the teachers got demoralized and they would not go to class. So MblSS would perform poorly. Yes, would perform poorly.
Because of the demoralization.
They were demoralized. At least this time, if Mr. Moses here is demoralized, he's arts. But that time it was everyone. That time it was everyone. And I had taught there for over 7 years in the school as a head of department, and my subject was popular. Students passed it. I was also in charge of discipline in that good school. I was a member of the disciplinary committee. So if the students saw me, they would just put off. So the school made quiet during my time as a classroom teacher.
True.
So when I came back to head the school, the story changed.
Madam, you've inspired me too, because there's a time I was demoralized too. Yeah, you get demoralized, like, why? Why is somebody earning more yet we are doing the same job? At least for you people, you were all the same. For us, the science has this way, arts this way.
Yes.
But then again, you said things can get better, and they did get better. You did become a head teacher after all. Because if we give up now, we might miss out.
Yeah, you miss out. So
we shall stick it out to the end. My colleagues of arts, make sure you stick it out, just like Madam.
Yes,
things can get better.
Yeah.
Now I want to ask as well, Madam. There were several schools around. Why MblSS? Was it your choice, or you were just posted there? Why MblSS Secondary School out of the very many schools?
Yeah, at the time, in the 1990s there, many people had left the country, and there were gaps in schools.
They just left the country?
Of course, as refugees.
Oh.
Yeah, in Uganda here, people ran away.
There was some
many
problem
people who ran away
around
because of liberation wars, and so by the time I joined MblSS, I think in 1990, around 1990.
So people had left?
Some people had run because of DC wars. And even when the Lakwena time came, I don't know what time it was, Lakwena's time affected the people around Mbale. And there are people who didn't know about the future.
Okay. Yes.
And the teachers in Kenya were on market.
Okay.
So teachers had gone. The population of the teachers was low.
In Uganda as a whole.
And when I left the teacher training college, I was in Nagongera.
Okay.
And when we left with my husband to come to join IU, I opted for MblSS because it was closer.
Okay.
And also, of course, at that time in school, I also taught in MblSS for some time, part-time. At that time, we did a lot of Mungo parking.
We still
The
do,
teachers
madam.
of political education were very few. And that subject had just been introduced. And so me, as the teacher who had just come from the university with that knowledge, I taught in MblSS, I taught in MblSS, and I even wrote some books about good leadership, whatever you would say, whatever was needed for the curriculum. And I think I helped to boost
The subject.
I think you should encourage me to write more, to
Madam,
revamp
you
my
should.
books.
Yes. Who
Mr.
knows?
Moses, I should
They could-
revamp my books so that you buy from me some.
And
Yeah.
support your own.
Yes.
Yes. All
So-
right.
And that is why I taught in MblSS and I taught in MblSS.
MblSS.
Then eventually when they came up with this registration that one had to belong to one school, I opted for MblSS because there was room.
Okay. When I was younger, MblSS was just like any other school, right? The people who've been to that school keep talking about transformation, that the school has come from far to reach where it is. And you must have done something too, given you also served there. So I wanted to ask as well, what changes, significant changes, did you witness during your time at MblSS Secondary School?
Others will be reminded, but they were many.
Very many.
Having been in the school, MblSS as a teacher, you walk and look at the environment.
Yes.
And you see what is lacking and what you would do.
Yes.
But at that time when I became head teacher, there was also a lot of talk about science education. Yeah.
So
And we lacked manpower in all departments that required sciences. We even lacked teachers.
okay.
And we used to go for workshops. Head teachers I was also a chairperson of Head Teachers Association in Mbale District.
Wow.
And we also introduced, actually, Mrs. Sengor and I introduced SESEMAT when government had not given us that go. We started it on our own, and I think it has stood
It still
up
stands.
to today. So those we got inspired. We did not want other areas to leave us behind. So at school level, the most important thing I started with was revamping the science laboratories.
That is good.
Yes. And I think that one has remained.
We are still a science powerhouse, madam.
I revamped that one with my staff. Of course, you know leadership, you work with the people
Yes.
and through people.
Yes.
So we worked with the people and through them. For example, my members of the board, whenever I came up with a suggestion, they would go with it.
That is
And we equipped the science laboratories. That was our first, the most important inspiration.
that is,
And I think up to now, those labs are there standing.
yes, the labs are
And I'm
there.
sure they have increased, they have added more.
There are more labs
Because
there.
by the time I left, we had even requested for revamping the technical section. I don't know whether it was it was, I don't know whether it was honored because I left before the catch was released.
Okay.
But I think that section through, I think it was JICA. JICA
Yes.
was to develop that that section.
Koika later came, I think.
Koika, and
Koika.
maybe it is that very one. Because we had requested for that money, we had also requested for to remove, you know, MblSS, that environment. Why we wanted to fence off the school. People slept in the bush around the school there. Where
was,
now the staff houses are.
there was a bush around that area.
Yeah, it was bushy, and we had requested for fencing. So we were going in phases, fencing, and then requested for, we want, the school became a model school, and so government was to develop it. So I left when it was already in that process. And when I visited, I think was it sometime my children came and took me there. Was it at the beginning of this year? Or it was towards the end of last year? I saw very many buildings there. Wow, I felt good.
Yes.
And
yes,
I said
yes.
that is good because what had been in plan has been fulfilled.
Yes.
And even I expect them to grow.
It is always good
Yes,
when your
then-
dreams are realized.
Yeah. Then eventually, of course, we needed to move. Because you cannot remain in MblSS and think you are all. So we looked for transport as our next target. And I'm happy you are still keeping the bus.
It is still strong, madam. The
And
bus is
I'm
there.
proud of it. Even the driver, I'm the one who recruited him.
Francis.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm happy that we made good choice.
Madam, he's
Eh?
a good driver. We have never had an
There
accident
you are.
while he's the one driving.
Yes.
You
So-
recruited a good person.
We got that. And we wanted it to, we rehabilitated. And then, of course, now there came, the time I left, I think there was that talk about universal secondary.
Yes.
And the reason why I put up a classroom block.
Okay.
8 classrooms plus offices. Using MblSS money, not getting any support from anywhere.
Hey.
It was MblSS money.
The current senior 2 block?
I don't know whether it is
It is
whatever you
senior
have.
2 block now.
Okay, whatever it is.
Yes.
So now, when we did that, of course, now the need for the high population came. We had to lobby for a center.
True.
So I left when we already, within that 5 years, we already had a center, an annex. I don't know, they named it annex.
Annex center.
Annex center.
It is operational.
MblSS annex.
Yes.
We got that one. And there are many others I can't remember. But I remember my teachers were very good. You can see Miss Younger.
That young man.
My teachers were good, but of course you cannot have everybody good. We also had bad ones, but the bad ones help you to grow.
Yes.
And that is where I'm thinking that, for me, I loved MblSS because the students would come to me and tell me their problems. There are some schools where the students would plan strikes. But when I joined MblSS as a head teacher, even strikes stopped. Fighting with the neighbors.
Yes, I actually used to hear people say, why don't you be like the students of MblSS Secondary
There you are.
School?
And you have remained like that, I hope.
Yes.
Yes. We talked about it. I just sang a small song to them. That if you want to see anything different, the right person to start with is yourself. If you are talking about bad people who make noise, you stop making noise and see whether that noise will be there.
It won't.
And now it is a quiet school.
It is a model school
It's
now.
a model school. And I'm happy. I think 5 years of leadership with so many things in place, We even had a canteen. We had the kitchen and the catering staff. We had it. And the teachers looked committed. I introduced, when the government said no coaching, for us we introduced the weekend program.
I didn't know
and
these things came from far.
Yes. And named it what something? Remedial.
Remedial lesson.
And the lesson, yes. The aim was go through the past papers. And we knew that for a whole year you would go through past papers for at least 20 years behind. You see that?
So now you did.
And we had that archive. We had a library with all those past papers. And so teachers were, I got very cooperative teachers.
Wow.
1 hour was 5,000. 2 hours, 10.
We are still doing these things.
But I think now it is 10 and 20. Isn't it more?
It's more.
But we started with that. And it was good. My teachers wanted it. In fact, they would quarrel for lessons.
Because you had put something to motivate them.
Motivation.
Yes.
So we put that, and we put scholarships
for
the children who were best performers and from poor families.
Yeah, that would motivate them to study.
There are so many. I'm even thinking that why are these people coming to see me? I enabled them to grow. None of them are working in big offices.
Madam, we have come. We shall pass this message on so that they know that whatever they came from your roots.
Yes,
your thinking,
we gave them scholarships.
Yes.
And even my daughter who was working, my daughter was a teacher and then got a chance to go out for masters. She was there for even a PhD. But she had got friends who even brought money to MblSS and helped some students, even up to university. And I even don't know where these people don't know. Well, the Bible says only one leper came to say thank you.
Madam, we are going to broadcast this.
I get that consolation from the Bible. Only one leper
came back to say
thank you. But the rest just went.
Madam, we have a newspaper, social media platforms, a TV. We'll put this information there and guilt these people.
You better do it because it might disappoint them.
We might put it in a good one, tell the members, remember where you came from.
Yes.
Hello.
What's your name?
My name is Mumza Jonathan.
And in which class are you?
Senior 3A.